Alrighty, folks, welcome to Thursday Thunderdome. Again, my name is Chris. I've got my co-host Tyler here with me.
Hello.
We are going to be talking about sports this week.
Yay!
Tyler's favorite subject,
My favorite.
sports, or as he likes to call it, sports balls.
Sports ball. It's not even my joke, but I think it's the funniest thing in the world. It's all the same.
I call it sports balls myself.
Yeah, it's great.
To try and be fun. All right, so you recently watched a movie, and I'm curious as to your take on this movie. It is a sports-related movie, guys. Don't think we're going to movie segment here.
It is. I watched The Sandlot for the first time this past weekend. Great. I am 31, and this is the first time I've seen this movie. People have been saying, "Oh fuck, what's that? You're killing me, Smalls." That fucking phrase to me for 31 years, and I didn't know what that phrase meant until college, until someone finally explained it to me. That movie sucks.
I haven't had anything.
Yeah, that movie's bad. That movie is a bad movie. It's horrendously boring. They're like, it's not that much about sports. It's kind of a coming of age film. The back half is. The first hour is just about this hard on for baseball. the world's most boring sport.
Okay.
Baseball's garbage.
Baseball is fantastic. When you're at a game, you got a beer and you got a hot dog. It's a great time.
It's not. I did that last year, and it's not that fun. I could have done other things.
That's fine. So what else is horrible about this great coming of age film?
So the baseball team, I don't remember any of their dumb names. The only good character in that movie is the kid that really loves baseball. I think he's older. He goes on to be a baseball player.
Sure.
He's the only good person. The other 7 people on that team are all assholes, and they're just so fucking mean to that kid who doesn't like sports. Oh, good. Let me relate to this movie about being mercilessly teased for not knowing about sports. That's really going to do well for me.
He doesn't like sports. He just didn't grow up with a dad that was into sports, right? Dennis Leary had to get him into it.
Damn. Is that Dennis Leary?
That is Dennis Leary, the dad. Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
I didn't even recognize him because he kind of looked familiar to me. I was like, I don't know, see that because I probably didn't know really start paying attention to Dennis Leary until Rescue Me, that show.
Oh yeah, that's a
very good show. But man, I had no. I did to start off the podcast. I need to go look at that movie again. I didn't know Dennis Leary was in it.
We might have a changing of opinion.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, he's an asshole stepdad too, and he only gets interested in his stepkid's life, and when he finally learns baseball, so he's a shitty father. All the kids are assholes and is really mean to this kid, and it doesn't really seem like they ever like him. He's like, he finally understands baseball, sort of, so we just let him part of it. Except the one kid who is very nice to him and wants him to be his friend and learn baseball. I was great. Okay, there's the one interesting kid. And then the fucking pool scene. God damn.
So if you were with us last week, we talked a lot about Hollywood tropes. So I'm with you. This is one of them.
So bad. I am watching this scene because I cover my mouth while I talk. Wendy, what's up?
Peppercorn.
Yeah, Susan Pepperfarm, whatever the fuck her name is.
Wendy.
Who cares?
All of them.
Yeah. Well, this the fucking kid in glasses.
Squints.
Oh God. He has this obsession over this woman. He's was he 8 in that film? How old is that kid? That kid is.
Oh, they're probably 11, 12. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's 31 and is gross.
16.
Whatever. And he just I can't remember what he was saying in the pool. He keeps whispering something over and over again like a fucking little creep.
I can't stand it anymore.
Yeah, oh my God. It was so bad. And then he goes and drowns himself on purpose to get mouth to mouth. And I was like, okay, that's gross, but whatever. And then after 3 or 4 breaths of mouth to mouth, she puts his head on his chest to see if he's breathing, and he winks at the rest of the crew, and she puts her mouth on his, and he just holds her head forcibly down and makes out with her. And I shouted, "What the fuck?" in my living room, and all my dogs, my 2 dogs, were
they ran. They
panicked. Yeah. They looked at me and they're "What's going on?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, this movie's just awful and just horrible and sexist and gross." And then, and even worse, after she throws him out and calls him a pervert or whatever, he walks by the fence and she waves and smiles at him
He
like she
stops
liked
and he
it.
looks longingly at her.
And then they get married and have 9 kids or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, of course. Happy
Gross.
endings.
Fuck that movie. That movie sucked. Oh, God, I'm like
okay. So I
upset
know there's
about
one
that
scene
movie.
you liked.
I did. Where they take the chew and they go on the ride. That was fucking funny. I really liked that. That and they do the like monster movie film when they're explaining the origin of the beast.
Oh yeah,
And I
the
thought that-
backstory.
yeah, I thought that was really cool. I guess it's probably set in the 50s, set in the 60s.
I think the 60s.
Yeah, so they do like an old 50s movie, like a monster film. I thought that was really interesting. The rest of the movie's garbage, and not only is it sexist and bad. Oh, and the one big insult is you throw a ball, you play ball like a girl.
You play ball like a girl.
I also hate that kid. I hate
The Great
that kid.
Bambino.
The
Cannonball.
yeah, that kid. I have the fiery passion of 1,000 burning suns of how much I hate that kid. And then he says that, and everyone's so shocked. It's this movie's sexist and bad, and I hate it. And the word, after all that terribleness, that movie is boring. That movie is so fucking boring. That hour and a half movie felt like I watched a 4-hour movie because it just wouldn't ever end. I really did not like that movie.
Wow, I did not have that reaction when I watched it myself recently on HBO.
I really tried to like it too because everybody's been talking it up for 30 goddamn years about this great, great movie.
I think you got two things going against it for you. First off, the people who like it are liking it for, I think, nostalgia, which I will admit, I love that movie for nostalgia. I grew up watching it. I love baseball. I played Little League, so
I can respect that.
You know,
There's a lot of things I like for nostalgia too.
right up my alley for that. I never really thought about, again, that pool scene in those terms until, more recently in my adult life, and then now I'm thinking,
Well, I'm sure
pretty
sexist.
sexist.
I'm sure it's pretty easy to pass over when you're 8 watching that movie, and you're the kid, the thing,
Yeah.
and it's the early, was it 90? Was that when the movie came out? Was it even in the 80s?
No, yeah, it was the early 90s.
Yeah,
91,
so
2 or 3 or something like that.
Or it was unfortunately more tolerant about that, and he, it's easy to pass over, and especially when a kid you might not understand the implications of it or anything like that. But me as a grown man watching this, it's this sucks.
Well, for me as a kid, seeing that pool scene, it gave me hope.
Right,
that maybe
right.
something like that could happen for me, where it's oh yeah, it's the older girl.
Or you
I'm
can hold a
attracted
girl
to
down
her,
and force her and kiss
I
her.
could,
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah,
mouth rape her.
Yeah, God, this fucking movie.
Yeah, no, not wanting to do any of that, obviously. But
Yeah, God, I hope so.
the part for me that I loved about that film is it's not even the baseball stuff. It really is oh my God, the ball has gone over the fence and we've got to get it back. And it's about them going up against the beast to get it back. That's the part of the movie that I find highly entertaining and that I really get into it.
And then build
and then he's got
and stuff
to put on his
nowhere,
PF flyers, to I'm just going to jump the fence and go
yeah,
get
where
it.
the fuck did those shoes come from? Out of nowhere, they're and then he brought these magic shoes, and they didn't talk about this anywhere in that goddamn movie about these magic shoes that make you run faster, or whatever
Jump
product
higher,
play.
yeah,
It's out of nowhere that this came from. And I was okay, this means nothing to me. He bought a new pair of shoes. Who gives a fuck? That movie's bad.
Yeah, and all they were Converse that
Yeah,
were
I saw that.
made to look like PF Flyers, and they actually now make PF Flyers as a brand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because of the popularity from that film.
Wait, was PF Flyers a real brand back then?
No,
Oh, okay.
no,
So
it came.
So this
from,
is a thing they made only in that movie to only reference one time with no heads up about it. Cool. That movie sucks. Bad film directing. Garbage. I hate that movie.
Okay, so great film. We all are in agreement here, except for Tyler.
That great film is the general consensus on this podcast of
Yeah. No, it's again. It comes down to it is a kids film, and
I don't like the argument it's a kids film though, because there's plenty of kids films that I love.
Sure, but a lot of those, I'm sure you saw, especially older ones, you saw when you were a kid.
I'm talking about Zootopia. I watched a couple years ago.
But again,
the Lego Movie. Those are incredible movies.
They are fantastic films, but they're not as kiddie.
I get what you're saying, but I don't like that. I just don't like that.
I know,
it's a stupid argument.
Sure. I'm just gonna sip my tea over here.
Tea is what he's drinking right now.
Okay, so we're talking sports. That's what's happening here. This is the sportacular episode.
My favorite. This is like basically the beer episode part 2. Where it's just
Right,
like something you love versus something I hate.
I talk about sports and how much, it influenced me growing up, and Tyler talks about how much he hates it.
Yeah.
So I guess the first question is that I really have for you is you hate it so much.
Mm-hmm.
Have you gone to sporting events, and at live events, what about that do you dislike?
So yeah, I've been to a few. My wife and I actually go to a Pacers game probably once a year. She likes going to basketball games. Actually, weirdly enough, just last week I went to the Pacers game versus the Raptors, where who cares, Pacers player hurt his knee, and it doesn't matter because sports don't mean anything.
I'm gonna mispronounce the name, but Oladipo.
Sure. I don't know. I saw it happen. I was like, okay, that's what you get, man. Like you get paid.
Okay. So callous over here, don't even care about people.
He's playing sports, he's getting millions of dollars. Like he's fine. He'll be okay.
He might never play again. People don't come back from that injury. Popped his quad tendon or whatever the hell that means.
He'll be okay. Yeah. So a friend was in town and actually messaged me. I was like, hey, like we actually have an extra Pacers ticket. You want to come? I said, yeah, sure. And like, it was fun because I hung out with a bunch of people that I knew and had a good time with them. I only watched the sports like maybe half the time, probably not even that. And like just watching people get like so fucking into it was crazy. Like so it's a family of 3, like a younger brother or 2 younger brothers and then the older sister. Like I know all 3 of them. I went to high school with all of them. I'm friends with all 3 of them. And like her dad went and like her husband was there, and then my friend who was in town, his wife was there. So like these are all people that I've known mostly for like 15 years. And so it was fun like catching up with them and like hang out with them and like watching like the husband was like get really into the game and like shout at the ref of
Hell yeah, man.
for bad calls or who cares, and like I don't understand like I don't understand how people are like so into it. Like you essentially have no connection to this team other than they just happen to play in the state that you live in, as far as I can tell.
So
wait, where are you from?
Texas.
Okay.
You did this is you. You did this.
I just wanted to make sure. I couldn't totally remember, but I just want to get it out of the way.
So that makes me a
Texans fan.
No. God no. Screw the Texans. From Dallas. So, Cowboys, Mavericks.
Are you from
Texas
Dallas?
Rangers. Yeah.
Like, that was like a legit question.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were from Dallas. Okay.
No, grew up there, yeah.
I think that sounded really sarcastic when I said it, but like I did not know you were from Dallas.
No, yeah, absolutely. So, I love sports. I love sports. It's weird. Okay, so growing up, I played soccer, Little League soccer. I played Little League baseball.
You played soccer? I feel like that's a very anti-Texan thing. Like to stereotype that, but like
we were sold on it's the sport of the future and all this kind of stuff.
It's the world
right?
sport.
It's
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's the world sport. I actually have come to enjoy soccer quite a bit now as an adult, but that's because I think I've just come to enjoy, the competition behind sports in general. So that's really, for me, like what appeals to it is I like seeing people at the height of their abilities, go head to head and, duke it out, if you will, just like gladiatorial games or whatever.
I mean, I can understand that The Rock has a show called The Titan Games, I think.
Something like that. Yeah,
and
it's American Gladiators redone.
Yeah, and like...
everyday people, my ass.
Yeah, these guys are ridiculous.
No,
these men and women are just so huge.
CrossFit champions is what they are.
And I don't watch it like religiously or anything, but like usually it's like right before I go to bed, I'll turn on my TV to turn on Netflix and it's on. I'm like, all right, let me watch whatever this one round is. And it's I see the appeal of like these people at the peak of their physical strength trying to like I don't know, push walls or whatever the fuck do they do.
Right. Well, yeah,
like,
I don't know. What
I
they
really
do.
like American Ninja Warrior.
Right.
And like that show's really cool.
Yeah.
Again, like I don't sit down and watch it, but it's like it happened to always be on right before I go to bed. It's like, all right, let me see this person run.
It's like a fishing show, You start watching and you can't look away.
Fishing show.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, that's even more boring than all the other ones. Like I did there was I think one time I tuned in American Ninja Warrior to watch one person. God, what was her name? She was dressed up as a comic book character. Like
I know
because she was actually she was the stunt girl.
Yes,
that sounds sexist of me. Like the stunt person for the Supergirl show.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, like there's my connection because I like that show a lot.
Is that the one that she just this year went? Because I think I might have come across that on Reddit.
She's been doing it for like a year or two at least. But like sometimes she dresses as a Supergirl. She's done like Spider-Man. She's done I think her name is either She-Ra or Isis, like one of those two. But she always dresses like some kind of like comic book related thing. Like that's how I got interested in watching her. And then I just watched her be like the best at it. I was like, oh, like this is great. Like this is really cool to see that. But in the end, like I don't have any connection to her. I'm like only because of comic books. Like if it wasn't that, I never would have watched it in the first place.
Well, then like your whole thing is like, oh, I've got to have some sort of connection. But for a lot of people, this is their outlet. So like your outlet is comic books.
Right.
So a ton of people are going to be like, I don't fucking understand your connection to comic books. Like, what investment is there for you? And you're going to say, well, the artwork they're drawing, they're telling a story.
It's like story and like relating to character.
Correct.
And there's not that in sports.
So there is. There actually is. There's villains. There's good guys. There's bad guys. There's Tom Brady, who is a known cheater.
Fuck the Patriots. Go sports.
Exactly.
Go Colts.
So, but like, there's people like to root against teams they dislike. And they like to root for the hometown team because then it's not me going, okay, yay, go Cowboys. It's like, yay, hey, Dallas against fucking Houston, and those guys are going down because it's city against city.
But do you like hate Houston? I don't get it. Like not as a team, but it's like, do you just hate Houston?
Yes.
Okay, well that
pretty much
that fell out of my trap. So never mind.
You have Houston, and then the rest of the state of Texas, and we all hate Houston.
Why? What's so bad about Houston?
Oh, it's just
the worst.
It's like Texas asshole.
I guess, sure.
I'm sorry.
I've never been to Texas.
Sorry to all my Houston friends.
I have. Yeah. They're going to downloads.
But it really is. It's like, especially if you're from Dallas, it's Dallas versus Houston. And it's always been that way. I mean, just the city versus the city, sports be damned. And so when you're able to go, okay, our top athletes versus your top athletes is essentially what it is. They're going to go head to head. And then we have bragging rights over you for the next year to say that, yeah, we kicked your ass in this sport. And it is a sense of community and a sense of we to it, even though it does bug me sometimes when people say, oh, we should have done this or we should have done that. You're not really on the team. Like, you should root for them, and you should say they should have done this.
And it's really good that you can make that call like when you're not there, you're sitting at home drinking a beer. Like,
right.
Try to do that on the field
when
go on the sidelines, when like millions of dollars are on the line. And maybe the issue is like I don't understand rivalry. Like I don't get that. Like I went to Purdue and like people Purdue and IU and like they fucking hate each other. Like I don't care. Like I guess we hate Purdue like or IU and I don't. Why? Like it doesn't mean anything. Like they're like rivals for the sake of being rivals. It's just because they're near each other.
They're rivals because of the sports. So I'm going to tell you like right now, like colleges that don't have any athletic teams, they don't have quote unquote rivals unless they're in a competition. But that's always people want to compete against each other, and maybe you don't have that competitive drive. In that same regard,
I am competitive, but not in the sense of like, fuck Chris. He is my rival.
I mean, you're competitive in the sense that, like, okay, so we played Dungeons and Dragons the other day. Mm-hmm. You're competitive in that you want to win the game,
right?
That we're playing right then, or when we play, the Batman. But those are games where we're a team and we're playing against the game essentially,
right?
So you want to team up and you want to win in that scenario, but it's no different with sports. In all honesty, we want to, as a collective group of fans around this team, want to win the game at the end of it all.
And something you said just previous to this about college and like pros, you I think are one of the few people that I've met that prefer the professionals over the college sports. Because usually I hear people like, oh, like I much prefer like they watch both, but like I much prefer college sports.
Oh yeah, I prefer college because they're not professionals and they don't get paid and they're playing for the love of the game. Fuck that noise. They are not playing for the love of the game. They're trying to play to get into the pros. Right? The reason why they don't get paid, and this is going to be a soapbox for a second, is because the NCAA doesn't want to pay people even though they're $1 billion industry. They make more money than a lot of the other sports leagues, and they don't get anything out of it. The schools get stuff out of it, but the athletes get nothing.
Other than free school.
Other than a free college education, which, don't get me wrong, that's a lot. That's really expensive at some of these schools. But at the end of the day, the likeness of these players is used in video games, or it was. I think recently that has stopped. But the likeness of these players is in video games. Their numbers are in the video games.
Because they're essentially like freelance
you're basically
artists.
selling my image, my skill, my ability, and us as a group on this team out to make money for the university and the NCAA. That is wrong. These are people who are working full time. They can't go earn money anywhere else. They don't have enough time. They have to commit full time to basketball or to football or whatever it is. And then they don't get paid for it. They don't get compensated for it. I have a problem with that. Now, I enjoy college sports from my university, University of North Texas, Go Mean Green.
God damn it. Turn off the podcast. Fuck this episode.
but that's where it comes from. Is it's pride in where you went to school. It's pride in where you're from.
I can see that a little more of like, you went to that school, you want to do your school to do well. Like that makes a little more sense to me. But like just being born in Dallas, or like I lived in Indiana, so I have to support the Colts because I don't know, they have Colty the Colt. I don't know what the fuck his mascot name is. I don't care.
Oh.
All the mascots are named incorrectly, and I have figured out the best way to name them, so that's a fact.
Colty the Colt, Pacey the Pace Cat.
Yeah, because Boomer the Panther. What the fuck? That's a stupid name. Pacey the Pace Cat. Oh, I've lied. I forgot about the mascots, because when Pacey the Pace Cat fucking dunks on a trampoline, that shit's cool. Give me more of that. Give me a whole 2 hours of him just dunking on shit and riding scooters.
You would be so bored after 20 minutes.
I really would.
Yeah.
Give me like a highlight YouTube clip of like 2 minutes of him dunking on shit. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And he comes down from the rafters or goes up in the rafters on the banner.
All I know is you would love the haka. I mean, I know you love the haka.
Oh, you guys showed me the haka recently, and this is so fucking cool. You know more the history on haka than I do.
So the haka is a Polynesian war dance.
So cool.
And it's, New Zealand, a lot of Polynesian countries, I know about it because being from Euless, Texas, a suburb of Dallas.
What's the team? Come on. Go big, whatever the fuck your school is.
I went to Euless Trinity. Go Trojans.
There we go. That's what I wanted.
forever. So, tease up. If anybody from UNT,
God damn it,
they're gonna know that. So we'll get to the haka, but I gotta explain that real quick.
Okay.
So,
I started
up.
something.
You'll like this.
Okay.
So this started back whenever I was in school. This is something I think my senior
1961.
class did. That's right.
You're really not that much older than me, but I'm just being a dick about it.
So you make a T with your hand.
Yeah. So he's
the middle finger down.
He's giving me the finger.
But it's upside down, so it looks like a T.
Thumb out specifically.
And then you go tees up.
Oh shit! Okay, that's
and
fucking
you flip
cool.
Everybody off.
I like that a lot. That's awesome. All right, see, I'm into sports for like not the sports part. I'm into sports for like everything else.
Yeah.
Okay,
so you can imagine like we're going against our rival LD Bell. What's that smell? Right. That's what we yell, and then we go tees up.
Yeah.
And like the whole stands is flipping off the other side.
That's funny. I like that.
It's pretty awesome. Right. Okay, so the haka. This Polynesian war dance, in Euless, it is the largest population of Tongans in the world next to the island of Tonga. Simply because a lot of them came over to work for American Airlines at the airport. And American Airlines is based out of DFW International Airport. So it was a logical location, extremely close to the airport. So a lot of people settled there. And they brought with them their culture. And in that culture, you have the haka.
So fucking cool.
And this is a dance of intimidation to your opponent. And so you have a yell leader who at the beginning is yelling, war yells or whatever in their native tongue.
Yeah, they're like getting the group hyped up.
Get them hyped up, and then a few of them do some other stuff, and then all of a sudden they just are in unison in their movements where they're slapping their knees, they're hitting their elbows,
and they're all like all the ones I see like they're usually like they're like crouched, like kind of like almost a sumo stance.
Yeah, yes.
Like down low and like it's. I just like you guys showed that to me. I just started watching a bunch of videos. Like I watched yours, like your school. I watched a bunch of like a soccer teams do it. I watched Jason Momoa at the premiere of Aquaman do it.
Yep.
I was like, that's fucking cool. Like, okay, like give me. This is the part of sports I like. Like, do that.
So you want to see Pacey the Pace Cat dunk.
Yeah, and then do the haka
then
right
he
after.
would do the
Yeah,
haka as he's coming down from the basket.
That's exactly what I want because it fucking ruled.
And then after that, he can yell "tease up."
Yeah, because it all started because I like played the clip of Infinity War where it's Black Panther like with the Wakandans. He's like,
Yes.
Bombay, and they like shout it back to him, and then you guys were like, we think you'd like haka. I was like, you are absolutely right.
Yes.
I love haka. It's fucking cool.
It is fantastic. So it's a pretty good intimidation tactic. Like people are like, you see these big men, and high schoolers on football teams in Texas are big men.
Yeah.
And they're doing that, and it's pretty intimidating. So,
but that would be just like, they're like, that guy's not scared. He's just cheering for us. Does he want to die? But yeah, I'd just fucking kill me. I'm so happy right now. Haka's fucking cool.
No, it's good. I love it a lot. But I mean, I think that's the connection that people have to sports, right? Like,
but see, like, I understand that when it gets to like that connection of like if you went to the school there or if like you knew someone on the team, but like the idea of like I'm from Goshen, that's up north in Indiana, like it's a small town, just like we're team Colts, like why? You're just this. It's just because you live in Indiana. I don't get that. Like maybe it's because I'm just not that tied to this state or because I wasn't born in Indiana. I was born in one of the other worst states, Florida. I was born there.
Boy, some of the best stories come out of Florida.
Best is not the...
By best, I mean
I know
like...
I know what you mean by best, but like...
white trash stories,
yeah,
man.
Fuck that state. And then like... Because like none of my family is originally from Indiana. Like none of us are. I mean, I've lived here most of my life. So, but maybe it's because of that. I don't have any connection to it. Like I think it's weird. And then like if I move to Chicago, like am I suddenly a Bears fan? Like am I suddenly a
if you choose
Sox
to be
fan? That's just weird to me. Like, and then we're gonna get into it at a different point, but just the idea of like people being fans about certain things and like
well,
it's a whole
yeah. I
fucking
mean,
thing.
and it's coming up, but like I'm a fan of Dallas. Like I grew up in Dallas.
Show.
I'm from Dallas.
Yep, it was all a dream.
I didn't shoot JR, but Dallas Cowboys, man, through thick and thin. That's my team, ride or die, that kind of stuff, right? Fuck Jerry Jones. He's a horrible GM, but I'm still going to watch my boys. Okay?
I will say when I was in elementary school, when I thought I liked sports because my dad wanted me to be in sports.
You were confused.
I really was. I finally came out of not liking sports. I was a Cowboys fan. So I was all about...
it was prime time, baby.
I don't even know. Like, I just know I had a Cowboys backpack. I knew about Troy Aikman and Deion Sanders. Because Barry Sanders is the Lions, right?
Right.
I can't believe it. Why do I have to keep that in my fucking head? I can't remember like the thing my wife asked me to do, and I can't remember that. And then Emmitt Smith is like the other like.
Michael Irvin.
Nope. I got that. I got the three.
Okay.
I got the three.
Not to be confused with the city of Irving. It's Irvin.
Okay.
Yes. Don't fuck.
Because I was a Cowboys fan, so I knew them, and I was a 49ers fan. So like Steve Young.
Those are the teams that like hated each other. They kept meeting up in the
is that true?
In the
I had no
game.
idea.
Yeah,
but like,
hell yeah, man.
Like Steve Young and Jerry Rice, and like my mom made me a 49ers blanket as a kid. So I wonder if I still have it. I don't know if I do, but I still have my I have my 49ers Christmas tree ornament, and I have my Troy Aikman ornament. I still put those on my tree every year. We have the same one.
Is it the same one? Okay.
Yeah. Because I came
Ornament
to your,
Brothers.
I came to your house. I don't know if it was this past Christmas or the Christmas before, and I was like, I have that same fucking Troy Aikman ornament like on my tree.
I was gifted that by a close friend. He saw it at a gas. What are those called? Garage sale, and it was $1. So he bought it for me, and there it is. Yeah, that was here. But that's for me. That's it. Like I enjoy watching the competition. I'm from this area, not Indianapolis, Dallas. So I support the Dallas teams. Now, when I moved to Indianapolis, I thought I might end up staying here, so maybe I'll kind of watch the teams a little bit. And then I met my future wife, and we got married, and now I've got a house here, and I work here, so I'm here for the long haul.
Right.
So I am a Colts fan, and I am a Pacers fan. I justify this by Colts are AFC, Cowboys are NFC.
Oh my God.
The Mavericks are the West, the Pacers are the East.
Superman's
end of the
DC
day-
and Spider-Man's Marvel, so it's okay.
So you can like both of them, right?
Yeah.
If they ever fight, it's fucking Super Bowl, they fight.
Yeah.
If they ever play each other, I 100% am a Cowboys fan. The Cowboys came.
Yeah, I was saying, like, you just went to the Cowboys Colts game.
We dropped a fuck ton of money on the game, and then I get the
And how much did you
get
cry?
Spanked.
Yeah.
It's just spanked, shut out.
That was
by
the
Colts.
one time in, I can't even imagine how many years, I checked a sports score because I was just curious. I was like, I know he went to that game. I want to see how it happened. I was like, ooh, Cowboys got destroyed that game. I don't even know what happened. I saw the final score and was like, all right, that's bad.
No, it was bad. It was pathetic, But at the end of the day, I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the atmosphere. I enjoyed going with my wife. I enjoyed getting a beer and eating a hot dog and nachos. And it's just a fun experience. It's a fun atmosphere. And everybody next to us was chill and they were taking it easy on me and they weren't giving me any shit, but also half the damn fucking stadium was Cowboys fans, because it's not that we travel well. It's that we're fucking America's team and that still holds up.
What's your fucking dumb thing about God and your stupid stadium? What you told me that one time and I wanted to shake you so hard.
So an old Texas stadium, you know why they put a hole in the roof, right?
No, I don't.
So God could watch his favorite team.
Oh, God, it's stupid. You told me that. And I had to have you explain me the joke because I was like, I don't get it. You're like, oh, there's a big hole in the stadium. I was like, oh, okay.
It's a dome, but it's got a hole. They can't close it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
stadium,
stupid for a variety of reasons. But it's like shit like that. And like, it's just so funny to see like people with such hard-ons about sports and then not be into like comic books and shit. Sports is so fucking nerdy. They all fucking wear matching costumes and they go and prance around in a field or whatever and just dance and just dance and love on each other and hug really hard until they fall to the ground. And like all of that with all the like matching bullshit and like everyone's cosplaying as their favorite player because like they wear their jerseys and there's like every fucking guy in every like so there's that Raiders guy that dresses up in like full on like paint,
no,
like and every
dude, and these are the same people that are going to make fun of guys like me and you who go to Comic-Con, we go to Gen Con or whatever, and maybe we do dress up. But it's the same thing. It is cosplay. When you really think about it, you're dressing up as another human being.
And it's
or
so
character.
silly. And then not just the jersey, but like we were talking about like the people with like the full on face paint and all that shit.
Yeah.
And it's
like they get like Colts man who's
you
always like
goofy motherfuckers. Yeah. Like I can't believe you leave the house like that. That's ridiculous. You look like an asshole and like you should not be around my children. Like right? I don't get it. And then fucking fantasy football. Fantasy football is just Dungeons and Dragons. That's all it is. You cast your fucking wizard, which is the quarterback. You got your barbarians and fighters in the fucking front line. You got your rogue, who's the fucking running back or whatever. And then you got, I don't know, the cleric or something for the kicker. Because the kicker doesn't do shit. They only get a couple points every year, and they have a really easy job. They don't have to work
the highest, the player with the most points scored ever is kicker.
Yeah.
They score a lot of points, man. They win Super Bowls out of Vinatieri, 24 years.
Yeah, and they play like 2 minutes every game. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah, they don't spend a lot of time with it.
Fantasy football is just like, it's so nerdy. It's like, you got to know all these numbers. You got to know all these stats. Like, you got to like memorize all this bullshit.
And that for me, more than the dressing up and wearing the jersey, is why it's nerdy.
It's so
There's
nerdy.
so many stats. There's so many, and I've become a stat junkie. I don't keep track of them or anything like that on my own. But I look at the stats. I look at my quarterback's QB rating. I look at how many receptions Cole Beasley got. I look at how many touches does Ezekiel Elliott get? Touches being runs and receptions.
Sure.
I mean, like
I thought it's when they like play grab ass in the shower. I thought that's what
they do that too, but that's a different thing. That more goes on the masculinity episode.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge fan of the Dallas Mavericks, and we are so lucky to have had happen what happened for us in the draft last year, where we got Luka Doncic, and basically we had Dirk Nowitzki, who was a phenomenal player for 20 years, and then this year his 21st season in the league, he's a shell of what he was, but then we're replacing him with this 19-year-old kid who is doing things that Dirk never dreamed of doing at 19 in the NBA. He's like the second coming of Larry Bird is what some people are talking about. You know Larry Bird.
I was gonna say,
being from Florida.
I finally know. Is he from Florida?
No, that was a horrible joke.
Yeah, I was like, I don't get that. Like he played for the Celtics. I do know that. Like
he played for the Celtics,
but I now know what sport we're talking about.
Indiana State.
Sure,
I believe he was a Sycamore. I believe that's right. I'm not from Indiana.
Dude, I have no idea.
Yeah, all I know is I've gone to Pacers game and seen his ass sitting down there.
I heard he's a dick.
That might be true.
I don't know. I just heard he's an asshole.
But like Luka Doncic last night, he was the first teenager to have a triple-double where he scored 30 points or more. Triple-double being...
I had to actually have that explained to me because in the rap song Monster, Kanye West raps triple-double, no assist. And I was like, I don't know what that means. And my wife explained it to me later. Because like we were like at a Pacers game, I was like, triple-double. I was like, hey, is that what that Kanye song's about? And she's like, yeah. Like, and she like explained to me. I was like, oh, I can't remember what it means. But I was like,
I was going to say, can you explain that right now?
No idea.
So points, assists, and rebounds, or you can get a triple-double and something else, but that's the typical one: points, assists, and rebounds.
Wait, so what is? But that doesn't explain to me what that means, though.
So triple-double, so triple categories, and double digits in each category.
Oh, okay.
So you could have a triple-double in 10-10-10.
Right, gotcha.
Right, so you got 10 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists.
Okay.
So he was like something 35 points, 19 rebounds, and 10 assists or something like that.
Sure.
Pretty solid fucking night. Okay, that's the kind of night you want to see your future, face the franchise have.
I will say a few years ago, my in-laws took us all to the Heat Pacers game for the playoffs.
Oh,
that shit was fucking fun.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool,
dude. Okay, so and that's that excitement that you got at that game, where everybody's into it and it's electric. That's what gets people into sports. Is they experience something like that.
But how do you do that? Like sitting at home, like you're just like sitting home, like burp burp burp. Like he should have thrown it the other way. Like, and they're talking with their little clipboards and hiding their mouths because they're all being super sneaky. And then they dump Gatorade on them, and there's still no dunking on trampolines because that's only for the live events.
That's true. I mean, you have to get into the team before it becomes a thing at home. So if you go to a live sporting event and you're like, oh my God, this was fun, and then you go home and you watch it and you're like, it's boring, then maybe you're only meant for live sporting events, and that's fine. Watching baseball, so I hated...
Oh my God.
I played Little League.
I did too.
Hated it.
Yep.
And then I
was on the Brewers. That was our team.
I didn't watch baseball at all until I was a teacher. And I was off during the summers, and there was nothing else on fucking TV. So I watched a lot of Rangers games, and it was when they started to get good. So I came in to watching a team that, within a year of me starting to watch because of my job, they're going to fucking World Series, man. And then I get to go to a World Series game. I caught the flu at the game. That sucked.
Yeah,
but that was fucking badass. And the Rangers lost. But it was awesome.
I was on the Rangers as well for Little League. I was on the Brewers and then I was on the Rangers.
There you go.
I knew I was on a second team.
I think it was the Pirates. And the
so in 2017, I was actually in Chicago for the final World Series game with the Cubs. And I was hanging out with a friend, hey, we have to watch the game tonight. I was like, oh, that's fine. I'll still hang out with you guys. That game went on for so fucking long. First of all, it started raining, so they had to bring out yard blankets for everything. They said these big old yard blankets to cover up from the rain so people don't fucking slip and fall.
Tarps?
No, yard blankets. That's what it was. And they tucked in all the little bases so they could sleep at night. And then it fucking ties, and they had to go into goddamn bonus baseball, and this fucking game would not end. And I just didn't care, and it's just I can only watch the same pitcher throw the fucking same ball over and over again as he tries to get a guy off of first because he keeps trying to steal the base. Who gives a shit? And then there was a fucking parade right in front of my hotel because I was on Michigan Avenue or whatever it was. And it was until there was a goddamn parade. I didn't care about that. I just keep going to all these bullshit sports things that people would really like if they like sports. Being in Chicago during that, going to the big playoff game.
God, I would love to. I'm not a Cubs fan, but that would be fucking awesome. We were in St. Louis a couple years ago for my birthday, and the Cardinals were playing in the World Series, and I'm like, shit. We should go. This would be great. And then we didn't buy tickets and didn't fucking go. And I was like, that was the dumbest decision of my life. Oh, man.
You guys had showed me the Cardinal mascot, Cardi the Cardinal. And he's the creepiest motherfucker I had ever seen. It looks like Oh fuck! What is that thing? The green monster from the Phillies.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Do you remember what that thing's called?
The green monster from the Phillies.
Maybe that's what it's called. Or the green monster, I think, is like actually the dugout or something. That's something the mascot's called something different. But it looked like it had the same body shape as the mascot from the Phillies, except it was like a bird, and it was just awful and kind of looked very predatory, like sexually. I was like, I can't deal with this.
You afraid he's gonna go and like, thwack that ass on some girl walking through?
Me. Like, I'm afraid he's gonna like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and he pushes me into a stall. I'm very afraid of that thing. All right, so Chris just showed me on his phone the fucking horrifying cowboy. I don't know. He's just the cowboy. He doesn't even have a fucking name. Oh my god, he looks.
Oh, he has a name.
Is it? I mean, I'm just because I'm cheating because I see the search bar. Is his name Rowdy?
Rowdy.
Yeah, he fucking looks like a rowdy.
Yeah. You know what we call him? Whoop ass.
Oh my god.
Because or ass whip. Sorry.
Ass whip.
Because he's an ass whip. I got that backwards.
Oh, because he like slap a donkey or something?
No, because he's an ass whip to watch. Like, he sucks.
What is that?
Oh.
What is this phrase? Is this a Texan thing? I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
An ass whip to watch.
Yeah, it's an ass whipping. It sucks. Do you want to get your ass whipped? I mean, I don't know what you do in the bedroom, but
only if I pay for it. Okay,
that's what he is.
Maybe just all mascots are very like sexually scary. Is that the issue? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. Are you looking at something else here? What's going on?
I'm just looking at your fucking thing. Like, he looks creepy.
He's got a big old mouth.
I will say, I used to work.
You sure got a pretty mouth.
I used to work for CNO, which was owner of Bankers. And then, is this still Bankers Field?
It is for the rest of this season.
Okay, what's it going to be called after that?
We don't know.
Okay, but
I think they're losing the naming rights.
Okay, yeah, but like Bankers owned the stadium here, and about once a year, I feel like, or maybe twice a year, fucking Pacey the Pace Cat would come into the office, and it was the most horrifying experience because he would come touch you aggressively, and you'd just be like at your like desk, like trembling at your keyboard, trying to like,
hey there, buddy.
But he doesn't say anything. He doesn't talk to you. It's even worse. And he comes like aggressively rubs your shoulders or like, fucking shakes you really hard, or like gives you a high five. And it's just I see him like I'm like fuck. Maybe I just need to go to the bathroom. Maybe I just need to leave.
You start getting cold sweats?
Yeah, I just started sweating and like trembling at my desk. It's like, I just don't want him to touch me. And then of course he comes and like touches me and like this rubs my shoulders really fucking hard. And it's like, you goddamn monster cat.
You need to go tell, the principal that Pacey the Pace Cat
yeah,
touched you.
Where did he touch you? Fucking everywhere is the issue.
Here's the doll. Where did he touch you?
Yeah, if he fucking dunked on a trampoline into my cube, I'd be into that. That'd be fucking cool. But no, he just comes and touches me really hard. And I don't want him to do that.
Touches you really hard.
He did. It was awful. And it's like, man, I'm just trying to do. I get paid shit money to work here. I don't need you to come fucking harass me. Like, I can't deal with this.
I don't need any sexual harassment from you, mascot man.
Yeah, I don't need this in my life. You gotta take off your fucking hat. Like, I don't like it. It's just the fucking worst.
Okay, so mascots. We're gonna get to watch plenty of them coming up Sunday. Of course, you're probably not gonna be watching.
No, I'm not gonna watch the fucking Super Bowl.
Do you even know who's in the Super Bowl?
Okay, I think I do. So, I believe the Patriots are.
100%.
And
9 of the last 18, motherfuckers.
So Twitter spoiled that for me because there's like a gif of fucking Tom Brady wearing like the most ridiculous coat. It's just like so crazy looking.
He's the worst.
And he's holding like his like cool handbag. Someone just said it looked like a rich white woman in like New York walking out of like whatever high end store, and I laughed really hard at that. And then, is it the Rams?
It is.
Okay.
Look at you.
Oh, so I was like actively avoiding it for the podcast to see if I could guess it. I would have guessed the Patriots because they seem to always be in the Super Bowl.
50-50 chance on that one, buddy.
Yeah, Patty the Patriot. That's their mascot, I'm pretty sure.
Patty the Patriot.
Yeah.
I like it.
And then there was one single tweet that talked about the Rams in like my Twitter feed for a whole week, and I was like, oh, I guess it's got to be Rams and Rammy the Ram, their mascot, obviously.
I was about to say, are you going to call him Rammy?
Yeah, Rammy the Ram. I'm fucking gold. Like, NFL just needs to hire me. I'll make easy money off of this. Yeah, no, I do not watch the Super Bowl. I haven't watched the Super Bowl since...
The nip slip?
We actually...
Did you see the wardrobe malfunction?
We did not see it live because we wanted to watch like Survivor or whatever was premiering on the other channel. So I did miss that, despite I really liking Justin Timberlake. And Janet Jackson's fine. I like her, but I'm not super into her.
I mean, Timberlake's bringing sexy back.
He was rocking the body at that time, I believe.
Oh.
Because
Come on, man. Let me make my jokes here. Yeah?
we're talking about sports. Like, let me know like the one thing I can fucking talk about on this episode. But no, I did watch that one because like I feel like in middle school, I watched the Super Bowl every year, and then maybe a little bit in high school, and I stopped doing it. But the last Super Bowl I watched was the Colts versus the Bears, and I didn't so much as watch it. So that'd be my freshman year. That was 07.
I believe the Super Bowl was 06.
I was in college, and because my freshman year was 06, 07. So I thought it was 07. I mean, who cares? It doesn't matter. But like, I didn't even really watch it. It was more of my dorm had an event because it's Indiana.
Oh, sure,
it's Indiana versus Chicago, and like a lot of us were from one of those two places, like either Indiana or Illinois, and we played euchre the whole time. So like, I don't even did the Colts win?
So the Colts. Yes.
Okay.
That was Peyton Manning's one with the Colts, and then he won again with the Broncos.
Oh, he only won one time with the Colts?
Yeah.
He went to the Super Bowl more than that with the Colts,
I believe he went multiple times.
Because
I know the Bears have not won one since 1985.
Okay.
Where they did the Super Bowl shuffle.
That's somebody, right? The fridge? Is another person?
Yeah.
The refrigerator?
Yeah,
the bus? There's another person?
80s.
I think that's the Steelers.
Yeah.
I only know
Refrigerator Perry.
Sure, I don't know.
Yeah. So, Peyton Manning won there, and then he won with Denver, I believe, in 2015.
That was his last year, right?
Yes, he retired after that.
I would too. Like, you might as well go out on top. Like, what else?
You won the Super Bowl with two different teams. You're one of the only quarterbacks, if not the only quarterback to have ever done that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Pretty amazing feat.
Me. Oh, Dan Marino's the other person I can name.
Who?
Dan Marino.
He has not won anything.
Oh, I'm saying he's another football player I can name.
Oh, okay, yeah. He was in Ace.
I can only name like 90s football players and the Mannings. It's like all I got.
No, so I actually was slightly a Patriots fan actually in college.
Go Pats.
Because they were winning and the Cowboys were garbage. And then I
shifted allegiances.
For like 30 seconds.
Did you remember the Alamo?
And I'm going to tell you, I always remember the Alamo. But
I thought you were just gonna let that go. I was like, wow, I'm very surprised by that.
No, but because of Tom Brady, I liked Tom Brady as a quarterback.
Are you the only person in Indiana that likes Tom Brady as a quarterback?
I actually don't like Tom Brady now, and I'm gonna tell you why I don't like him, and it's really the true reason why everybody hates Tom Brady except for Patriots fans is because he's not your fucking quarterback. You're talking about a man who has gone to, this will be his 9th Super Bowl in 18 years.
Yeah, just imagine if he was like the Colts Super Bowl, the fucking quarterback.
If he was with the Colts, he wouldn't have gone to 9 Super Bowls. He's gone to 9 Super Bowls because he is a great quarterback and Bill Belichick is a great coach.
Oh, is that who Bill Belichick's a part of? I knew that name, but I had no idea. I knew he was a sportsman. A sportsman.
He's a sportsman.
Yeah, Bill J. Belichick Sportsman. That's his name.
There you go. So you got a great coach, you got a great quarterback, but what's amazing about what the Patriots have done is those are the only two consistent people there. Now, Rob Gronkowski's been there for a minute. Danny Amendola's been there for a minute. But you have a cast of characters who are just rotating in and out, but they keep going to Super Bowls because Tom Brady's that good of a quarterback and Bill Belichick is that good of a coach. And people hate those two guys because they're not their coach and not their quarterback.
People hate losing.
People hate losing. And the Colts, and I'm a Colts fan now. And I'm going to catch some flack for this, but they lose to the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Chris is spending the night at my house tonight.
So, did they cheat? Yes. If they had not cheated, would they still have won? Yes. I mean, they did not cheat enough to like.
Did anything really happen to them for cheating? Like, I feel like they're like, hey, like, don't do that again, guys.
Well, you had Spygate, which I think there was some fines, and maybe Bill Belichick was suspended some games, but that was a long time ago. I don't remember that one too well.
Belichick's, you say he's the coach?
The coach. And
is it
Tom
that
Brady
big of a deal to
was a
not
big
have
part
the
of
coach on the field?
Deflategate. So he deflated the balls a little bit, or had an equipment manager do it. He got suspended for 4 games.
Because what is that? Does it make it harder to catch? Is that the issue, or
No, so if you deflate it, because he's a little older, his grip is not as good. So if it's deflated, it's easier for him to grab.
Okay.
And then also a little bit easier for the players to catch because it's squishier.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Like if it's overinflated, then it'll just bounce right off of people.
Because he's older for a sportsman, right? Is he in his 40s?
Yes. He, I believe, is either. I think he might be 41.
Okay.
Yeah, he's old for a quarterback in the NFL. You know, and quarterbacks. I mean, Brett Favre went into his 40s.
I was just gonna say,
Peyton
is Brett Favre finally done?
He's been done for a minute. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I feel like he was going to retire, and he's like, I got 10 more years in me, and
But he
sent his dick to somebody. Didn't he do that?
I think he started in '92.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I mean, he's like 48 at this point.
Right.
So he's old. You know, and all he does now is he sends dick pics. So
Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty sure that was him.
so you know, but Peyton Manning had to retire. Eli Manning is not far behind. You know, he's been around for a while.
Yeah, I kind of forget about him.
He
Is he still with the
quietly won
Giants?
2 Super Bowls.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Is he still with the Giants?
He is. He
Okay.
is. This could possibly be his last season. But I guess for me, the Super Bowl is such a big event. You know, we're probably not going to go to a Super Bowl party this year because, you know, we got the new kiddo and dragging him around to all these things, you know, that I think wears on him as much as it does on
Right.
us. So we're probably going to stay at home and watch it, but we'll watch the game. We'll put it on. Like,
I'm going to be asleep by like 10 o'clock that night. It's going to be awesome.
there's commercials. There's the halftime show.
What generic white man band is playing this year?
Oh, I haven't a clue. Oh, no, I do. I remember it.
Am I right?
Maroon 5.
Oh my God. Fucking the worst. Of course it's Maroon 5. I knew it'd be a fucking
Adam
shitty
Levine.
band.
I was trying to remember
that
who it
band.
was, and then I thought, Adam Levine. Somebody said Adam Levine. Yeah, no, I am not looking forward to that.
I don't watch the Super Bowl so much. I didn't watch when Beyonce performed. That's how much I do not watch the Super Bowl.
And for those of you who miss the music, it's a favorite musician.
Yeah, she's amazing. We've been to multiple concerts of hers, and like I think we did like TiVo it, and then like cut through just watch the Super Bowl or the halftime.
I don't even remember which one that was. I remember the show.
She's done it twice, I think, because Lemonade, the album Lemonade came out probably 2 years ago, and she did Formation, which is like the big song from that.
Yeah, that's
so
the one
it's
I
probably
remember.
2 to 3 years ago would be my guess.
Got it. Wow.
But I just remember they were like doing like the Eagles and shit for a while, and
One of the best ones, and I think, if I remember correctly, this was college. I was at a place called The Cup, which was a coffee shop that was owned by the church I went to, Denton Bible Church. And they were hosting a Super Bowl party, and we were watching it, and this was after 9/11. The Patriots were in it,
Go
and
Pats.
U2 was the halftime show.
Chris is wearing a U2 the Joshua Tree Tour sweatshirt right now. That's not even like one of my jokes. That's just like he's literally wearing that at this moment.
One of my absolute favorite bands, and it was incredible because they had this knack, this ability to just capture emotion in a way that no other band I've seen is able to do. And you know, for those of you who have seen this halftime show, you'll remember they dropped banners down and they showed all the names of the people we lost in 9/11. And then during the song, Bono pulls his jacket open and it's lined with the American flag on the inside. And I'm getting chills right now thinking about it. And I mean, just everybody in the room was tearing up, you know, and that's the kind of thing that can happen at a sporting event, and people getting together and watching it is, yes, we're going to remember this thing, or this is going to happen, you know, and then you have shit that happens with fucking Justin Timberlake and, you know, Janet Jackson.
Do you think that was staged? I think it was staged. I think it was
It has to have been.
Yeah, I think it was.
It has to have been. But little side note about U2. I'm wearing the Joshua Tree hoodie because I went to go see them. I saw this tour twice, Chicago and then here at Indianapolis.
I was about to call you like a dork. I was like, I did that with Beyonce, so I can't really say anything.
And so this is right after Hurricane Harvey that hit Texas. And, you know, this is how much of a sports nerd I am. I go to a fucking U2 concert. I'm wearing my Tony Romo jersey.
No one can see the eye roll that I just did.
But
it wasn't even like a joke eye roll.
At the end of the show, they're in the encore and they have this huge background and it's kind of wavy. It looks like a flag would have been waving in the air, and they put the Texas flag up on it, and they're saying text to the Red Cross to donate money to help out with Hurricane Harvey. And for me, I don't cry a ton, but I lost it.
Just red, white, and blue tears streaming down your face.
Just tears of, that's my state. I wasn't there. I know people that were affected by that. And the fact that this Irish band who doesn't need to say anything or do anything for 9/11 at the Super Bowl or for Hurricane Harvey at their 30th anniversary tour of their pinnacle album, the fact that they do that kind of thing, I think it's this. So back to your question, I mean, kind of about why are people connected to sports? It's why are you connected to Beyonce? Why are you connected to comics? Why am I connected to you too? Because there's something about it that elicits an emotion, a pride, a sense of joy. And that's what it is about sports, is the fact that all of these people can come together and support the same thing. And sometimes there's some shitheads that are on the team and you're like, fuck those guys, but then you've got the good guys and the ones that are out there doing the right thing.
Not the Patriots.
Right.
You're having a really serious moment. I'm being a dick right now. I'm sorry. I feel bad about that.
But they do things that just blow you away. Like J.J. Watt from the Houston Texans. He raised millions of dollars for the hurricane victims as well. Just by going on and saying, let's raise $100,000 for support, and people ended up donating like over $1 million. And they're like, that's incredible that these guys have that kind of ability and power and influence. And when they use it for good, it's amazing. And the fact that we can watch and support that, I'm all for it. But I also just like the good competition.
Fair enough. So before we close this out, to kind of go back to the very first topic, I want to talk about a couple of sports movies. Like, what are your couple of your favorites? Like, let's make this quick.
So,
because I got some sports movies I like.
Yeah, top sports movies. Okay, so you're gonna hate me, but I got my Rocky poster behind me.
I guess that is a sports movie. I forgot about
I love Rocky. I love the underdog story, and that's what draws me to sports is the underdog story. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, so Rudy is definitely one of my tops. Rolling your eyes pretty hard again for that.
I've never seen it, so I can't really judge it. I just don't care about it.
It's not so much football. It happens around football. And like I said, they show some football, but it happens around football. It truly is this guy is coming up from nothing story. I think one of my other favorite ones is Major League. It's a baseball film.
Yeah, I've never
straight
seen that
comedy.
One either.
League of Their Own. Again, it's a baseball film.
Whoopi Goldberg's in one of those, right?
No.
No? I thought she was. Maybe there's...
Class act. Sister act.
Yeah, I was going to say it's Sister
act. God, it put me on the spot here.
I know. Well, I mean, like, the two that I can think of that I really enjoy is Remember the Titans. I've seen that movie a lot. The movie's fucking awesome.
We are the Titans.
Oh, so good.
It's like doing the haka, man.
Yeah. I love to say Left Side, Strong Side a lot.
Yes.
And then The Replacements. I'm
so glad you mentioned that.
I love that movie. That movie
Keanu
is
Reeves?
excellent. Yes. Orlando Jones is in it.
Yes.
I'm sure a bunch of other people I can't remember.
John Favreau.
Is he in that movie?
He is.
It's been a while.
He's also in Rudy.
Oh, what the fuck?
Except he's freaking huge.
I didn't know that. Yeah, those two movies specifically, I really, really like. I like Creed a lot, and I don't like the Rocky movies. Creed is really good. I haven't seen Creed 2 yet, though.
I haven't either. We should do that.
Yeah, exactly.
We should do that. God, I feel like I should have been asked that question beforehand, so I could have been prepared.
I know. I didn't think about it until 2 minutes ago, so I tripped you up on it.
No, but I think my all-time favorite is probably Rudy if we come down to it.
Yeah.
Just the music is incredible. Jerry Goldsmith did a great job with the score. What's it? Sam Wise-Gamgee.
Yeah,
is great.
What is his name?
I'm blanking.
We have friends right now that are screaming at this podcast because he was at Indiana Comic-Con last year, I think.
Sean Astin.
Yes. Thank you.
I knew that.
guest spot on Stranger Things.
Yes. Guest spot.
Yeah.
No spoilers. Hashtag no spoilers.
He is in there for 2 seasons. That's kind of spoiler. Okay, anyways, sports is over. Let's end this terrible podcast. I want to thank everybody for listening to Thursday Thunderdome. I want to thank Sarah Lichty, who created our logo and did our graphic design. You can find her work at sarahlichtydesign.com. Thank you to Jimmy Nimbus for doing our intro and outro music. That song is called Top Off, and you can find it on jimmynimbus.bandcamp.com. And please check out Hotel Records, which she's also a part of. You can find us on Twitter at Thursday T-Dome, or on Facebook and Instagram at Thursday Thunderdome. If you want to leave us any comments, questions, or even topics you'd like to hear, go ahead and hit us up on Twitter or email or whatever your favorite thing would be. And finally, you can find all our shows on all podcast platforms like Google Play, Spotify, TuneIn, and iTunes. iTunes, we are now officially rated
5 stars, baby.
Well, we are a 5-star podcast. So
That's
you
right.
listening to this, you know you're listening to quality because we have 5 reviews.
So we have 5 stars and 5 reviews.
5 stars and 5 reviews. Come listen to the podcast that my mother described as, I listened to the first half of your first episode, and it
Sound quality was
had
good.
good sound quality. So if you want to hear that, Mother Willits has a very good review. But please go on iTunes and rate, review, and subscribe. It helps us. Pass it over to your friends and talk about how great we are. Have each friend download, each episode 10 or 20 times. That'd be
Sure,
great.
as
It'd be
many as
very
they
helpful
want.
to us.
Yeah. On all their devices.
Yeah, exactly. As many times as you can, it'd be very much appreciated. And thank you for listening.
Promotion.
Yeah, exactly. That's all that we're about here.
All right, guys. Thanks, guys. It's been fun.
All right, thank you.